Hello and good evening. This is Doc Severson for the ReadySetCrypto OMNIA newsletter market update for Tuesday, the 18th of February. Looking at BTC versus the US dollar, nice bounce off of the confluence of the trend line as well as the pivot that we talked about the other day. Now, this just goes to show you how Machiavellian these markets are. And they're all the same. They all do this. They are all trying to get everybody on the wrong side of the price and then sweep the rug out. And it's not that there's some evil person that's doing this out there. It's just that people are looking for opportunities and will do so. So what happens here is when you see something like this trend line and this pivot level, which was around 9,600, we got one bounce off of it and then the price plummeted through that trend line. Just absolutely plummeted through the trend line. So this is where I posted in the Discord room in the Trader Talk. I said, the close is more important than the intraday lows. So this is very common to see something like this happen where you'll see this undercut the trend line and then, attract all of the weekend bears into this area thinking, oh, this is it. We're going to ride this thing all the way down to fame and glory down here at 6,800. And then all of a sudden they get squeezed out to the upside because people decide to buy right down in that area when it logically doesn't make sense to do so. So now here's the challenge, because let's not get complacent with this. We do have a box that is defined by this area, approximately this area here. Okay, it's about 10,500 on the upside. And we did see the price get over 10,000 today. In fact, it's still over 10,000 right now, which is good. That's attracting attention. And there is a couple of other signals that I'll show you guys here in a minute that may make some sense. So what we do is we have a box about 1,000 points wide, and man, only Bitcoin can have something like this, a box 1,000 points wide. There is no stock that's out there that's this big, moves with this much volatility. What we have to be concerned about at this point is the evil lower high. If you see these moves here, all along here, we print higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. Look out for the lower high because it's the most evil signal in charts out there. Why is that? Because everybody gets complacent. We get the bounce off the trend line. Everybody's happy. Everybody sits back and says, oh, the uptrend is confirmed. No, it's not. It's not confirmed until it breaks above 10,500, which it's not there yet. So these bounces off a trend line and off a pivot tend to make everybody relax. Everybody goes, oh, well, it's just a matter of time before the price breaks through 10,500 and confirms that high again. And this is where we get complacent. We just sit back on our haunches and say, well, it's got to break above here. No problem. And this is where we get these evil, evil moves. The lower high sets up and just crushes everybody. Because what happens is somebody of size will sell into that move and nobody's expecting it. And then the price starts to drop and keeps dropping and keeps dropping. And next thing you know, all these people that went long are now having to punch out in great pain. It's the opposite of a short squeeze. It is a bull trap. The trap has been set. The bulls are trapped into here. They can't get out fast enough. And they're punching out through market orders, which tends to drive down the price even further. So am I saying that that's going to happen? No. Technical analysis is not for predicting the future, but I will predict this future. If there is a lower high here, it's going to be a very rapid drop through here. So just keep on your toes. Don't get complacent. Don't look at all this green and say, hey, we've got it made. Now, the thing that I will say again, though, is if you look at this on a weekly chart perspective, this is all great, but at some point we do need to print a higher low. So it's not necessarily a bad thing if the price breaks that trend line, which is rather steep. If it breaks that trend line and runs down, prints a higher low, because everybody's just going to be puking out left and right. Everybody's going to be like, oh, I can't do this anymore. Just when we get a rally, you know, they're going to be whining all over the place. And that is going to be the time to strike. When we get down to maybe one of these fib levels down there, we're going to see some buying coming in, and then boom, we're going to slingshot from here. I think, you know, to me right now, the larger perspective, and this is what I remain consistent about, is that, you know, when we look out at our log charts on the monthly, let's go out to the monthly log chart, and we see this, you know, great trend line. I don't have it on this chart. Let me see if I have it on one of these over here. Let's look at this one. No, this one. How about this one? I know it's somewhere out there. Anyway, I had a trend line on one of these. We must have taken it off, but it's out there, and we are printing higher highs and higher lows on this monthly log chart. This is just nothing more than a singular consolidation, similar to the one that we went through back in 2013 to 2015. It just looks different because lightning does not strike twice in the same spot. Each one of these is going to be unique to its own, you know, nature and characteristics and just the market flow that we have at the time. So until this pattern breaks, I have to lean to the upside and everything. So does that mean that we're immediately bullish? Well, yeah, kind of. I mean, this is a good pattern. This is, you know, this looks good. However, we do need to print a higher low in the weekly chart. And that's going to be painful when it shows up, because it's going to happen when everybody gets complacent and just assumes that everything is going to be good to go, you know, and maybe it's going to be some level higher than 10,000. Where we get above 10,000, everybody kind of lets their guard down, and that's when the higher low is going to show up. Now, something else that's happening here is we have a golden cross, at least according to these moving averages. These are, let's make sure that they are, but I believe this is the 50 and the 200. Oh yeah, they're right over here. Okay, we have the 20, 10, 50, and 200. We have the 250 simple moving averages. This is what a golden cross looks like. So that's going to catch some attention. People are going to say, we have a golden cross, even though it's not necessarily, it statistically means nothing, but it's enough that there's enough people watching something like this to know that when you do have a golden cross, you do have the capability. It does raise the possibility that it may turn into something. So if we look at the golden cross here throughout the years, let's see, we had a couple of false ones way back here. All right, so we had a golden cross showing up in 2015 after the bear, and it got invalidated. But this is the sort of pattern I love. I love seeing this, and I've seen this in the equity markets many, many times, where you have you're coming out of a corrective period, you golden cross, and then it gets invalidated. And this is where everybody says, I can't do this anymore. I quit. I capitulate. And this is why the volume increases down here, because people they can't take it any longer. And then boom. So these false death crosses, that's a false death cross right there, which got invalidated itself. And then boom. Why? Because it builds up the bearish sentiment, which gets unwound to the upside. You want the bears, guys. You don't want to be out there in the chat room saying, I wish we just get rid of the bears. Just get rid of the bears, then the price would have no choice but to go higher. It doesn't work that way. If you want to buy, you got to have somebody to sell you the asset. So across the board, pretty strong today. Everything looks pretty good. The coins that are paired with BTC are going to be a little bit weaker because it's in the denominator. So that's going to affect everything. If we look at our swing trades, and I haven't looked at these yet today, but some of these are up pretty nicely. Ocean continues to roll. Tezos looks really strong, building up consolidation up here. That looks good. Chainlink is just a monster. Let's see if we have anything else looking at. This is Decentraland, and this has been surprisingly strong lately. This is still in consolidation, but it's throwing off a buy program right now, or buy signal on the trend trading. So guys, that's all I have for today. Keep your eyes peeled for the lower high. If it shows up, you'll know it. But you'll be one of the few that notices it, because most people will just go completely brain dead when they see the lower high set up and won't know what's going on. Thanks for listening, folks. We'll see you tomorrow. Take care.